Hi, welcome back. Going forward, I am trialing the name of the channel being possibly, I've already fucking forgotten it, James's World of Brutality. Not sure, but we'll learn to see. So today's video, I thought I'd talk about some gems, underrated gems to me. This came from a conversation I had with a friend of mine, Devon, last night about video topics that I could possibly work with, and I suggested the idea, why not bring up albums and catalogues where it's not necessarily the favourite, but it's underrated. So like, using Metellum scores, I kind of went with like what was the least popular and kind of evaluated it, but some of these six, well there's seven because there's a gem and there's an extra one, but these six I think are underrated as all fuck. Okay, first up we're going to go with 1979, Blue Oyster Cult, Mirrors. I've no idea why this seems to be forgotten, never really mentioned in the annals of their fantastic catalogue. It is a pretty stiff cover, but so what have I got? It was their sixth album from 1979. It did suffer because it came between Spectres and Cultosaurus, which are both very good, but I've always thought this had some really good melody, really good songs. You've got The Great Sun Jester, you've got Mirrors, I Am the Storm, You're Not the One I Was Looking For, Lonely Teardrops. It's just a good, more mellow, but it's just a good album. Real gem in their collection, I think, personally. Right, next up, I've got, was my very first death metal album, Got Him on a Marth, being The Fate of Nolans. Trying not to get this fucking glare. I'll just go there and turn that off. So, alright. Oh, it's me. Okay, so yes, The Fate of Nolans. I think this one suffers purely because it was the first back step in like their catalogue up to about possibly 2008. Like you've got so many banger albums, but this, I guess you could say, is maybe a bit more commercial. But I think it's got their biggest song, arguably, The Pursuit of the Vikings. Oh, you've just got some absolute bangers. There's a riff, and I think it's the second to last riff on The Ancient Sign of the Coming Storm. It's like a it tracks back and it's a mid-paced riff, bang up, but it's such a fucking sick time. I've always had a soft spot for this band, and this album is no exception. I love them on a mark, up to a certain point. But if you're looking for a good death metal beginner album, really can't beat this band or this album. It's Amon Amarth, Fate of Nolans from 2004, being their fifth album, with a score of 78. Now there are lowest ranked scores on their Metallum, but those are shit albums. But this is a gem. Alright, next up we've got Aborted's fifth album. Fourth album, 2004. Fuck. Alright, try that again. Aborted's fourth album from 2005. Unlistenable Records in a really nice digipack thing. The Archaic Abattoir by Aborted. I don't know why this one seems to get not as much love, but A Cold Sadistic Slaughter is an absolute fucking belter. Blood Fixing the Bled, Dead Reckoning with that fantastic American Psycho sample where Pat calls his lawyer and he's just losing his shit. And I don't know why this. It's just always I'd love to get this as a t-shirt. I think that would be fucking sick. But I've always have a really soft spot for this band because they were another band that got me into more brutal stuff. But yeah, this album definitely. This album's a banger. Alright, next up is Maze of Torment's favourite album. If you ever spent any time with him, you'll know he hates this, and he hates me loving this album. But we're going to go with Judas Priest. This is 1976. This is 1986. This is, if you took away the synths, would be one of the best Priest albums. But you have the synths, which is where I think a lot of people get pissed off with this. Now it does have it has a single, Turbo Lover, and fucking hell, I hate that song, but I don't mind it in the context of this album. And live, you can take it or leave it, but we're never going to get any of these other songs on this album. Look, it's got Locked In, it's got Private Property, Parental Guidance, it's got Wild Nights and Crazy, Hot Crazy Days, it's got fucking Reckless, which has got one of the best riffs they ever put on, down on record. Which I love this album so much. And I love this era, like the 86, 87 era of the band, especially live. That's why I grabbed the anniversary edition, because it had a Live in Kansas CD from the Fuel for Life tour, and this era is fucking fantastic. There's also, I can never remember the name of the album. There's a DVD, there's a bunch of music videos, and it also has a full thing from Texas. No, that's wrong. Dallas? One sec. But it's such a good live. I love this era of the band. I love Priest in general, but obviously there are worse albums that you could have mentioned. This one sits with a 62%, which I think is bullshit. But hey, can't always get what you want. Now this was their 10th album, so they were very storied into a career, coming off a string of hits. You just had Defenders of the Faith, Belter, were changing as the times progressed, but this album is, I fucking love this album. Just give it a chance. Like, it isn't for everybody, but it is such a gem in their collection. But yeah, get rid of the fucking synths. Much better album. Alright, next up, to me, one of the best debuts in death metal releases, and specify with that, is Bloodbath, Breeding Death. This is the one that's got a bunch of demo songs, which I think are really fucking stupid, but it's just three songs. Breeding Death, Ominous Blood Vomit, I love that name, and Furnace Funeral. This is from 1999, I want to say, 2000, sorry. This is, it got to 78. They did have better albums. I think Resurrection Through Carnage is nearly flawless. You obviously had Nightmares Made Flesh and The Fathomless Mastery, and the newer stuff is getting progressively better. It did take a while for Nick Holmes to grow on a lot of fans, I think. But their live set is fantastic. But this is just... If somebody says to me, what's a good death metal, Swedish death metal starting point, I think it's this. It's just 3 songs, it's less than 20 minutes, but it's just fucking brutal as a motherfucker. So this one. Right, next up. A band I was lucky to see in the States, lucky to even hang out with, and remain in contact with, is the mighty Vomitory, who, if you follow them on social media, are recording something at the moment. Who knows what that could be. But this is their 2011 release. This is their 8th overall with a 74%. Now, I wanted to bring this one up because when you look at the scores and you look at this was right before they took a break. But you've got some belters. You've got They Will Burn. You've got Regorge in the Morgue. And I think it's Forever Damned, possibly. It's got such a Cannibal Corpse opening. It's fucking relentless. It's just an absolute beast of an album. Obviously, Regorge in the Morgue is still played live. Well, this might not be my absolute go-to. That's usually Blood Rapture, or Revolution Nausea, or their banger fucking album last year. The year before, my bad. Oh, Heads Will Roll, that was fucking great. But yeah, when you get a band like Vomitory, often forgotten in the death metal scheme, especially from Sweden, because they're so fucking brutal, but they're not brutal. They're kind of like on that weird fucking thing, but 8 albums in, they're still releasing absolute fucking carnage albums. It's fucking fantastic. Strongly recommend this, and if you get the chance to see them live, it is a fucking fantastic show. Alright, last up. I really wanted to talk about this one because this was kind of what got me into thinking about this topic, besides the Blue Oyster Cult one. But I just really needed a chance to be able to have an excuse to talk about one of my favourite bands out of Sweden, that being Rotten Sound, with their, let's see, what's it, 8th album. It is 18 songs in 21 minutes. It is Apocalypse, and it is fucking fantastic. It is relentless, it is brutal, it is catchy, it is everything about grindcore. It is a near perfect modern grindcore album. It's just so good. And the colour scheme with the orange and the black and the grey, it's just... I have a shirt, a logo shirt of them. I think maybe it's one of my most worn shirts. I just wear that thing everywhere. Another band I really need to see live. But in a catalogue where they had stuff like Exit and Drain and Murder Works, which is a fucking grind modern masterpiece. Suffer to Abuse and Abuse to Suffer. It's really hard to find an album that is underrated, I guess lower. And this with being 75%, I thought kind of fits that, but it kind of came out and was just forgotten. I don't know why. I know they're touring. They just did a huge tour with Brujeria and Carcass, who have been fucking sick in Europe, a bunch of places. They got a tour. I hope they come back here. Probably see them in the States, but this would be a fun, really shitty bar, bunch of beers, bunch of my friends. It's pretty fucking banger. So yeah, this is a topic I really think I can continue. I've got enough for a second video. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody. This is a new world, a new experience. Special shout out to a friend of mine, Devon, who did share me on his page, and some of my other friends talking about me to their friends. But thank you. It's a fun world. And remember, peace and hate. This has been James.